He's a tough guy on TV and in film, but he wanted no piece of Fritzy when he walked in. Mark Wahlberg here, actor, producer. Are you worried about getting injured if you arm wrestle Fritzy?
You know, it's pretty intimidating.
Yeah?
It really is.
Right.
Is it the hair on his arms that
He's
intimidated
got that
you?
barroom-looking strength, you know? It's the guy you don't know. It's like if you go to SEAL training.
Yeah.
All the guys you think, oh, my God, this guy's a badass. He's going to make it. Those aren't the guys that make it. It's the little weird guy in the corner. That's the tough, crazy guy.
What's the reaction on the street when you come to New York?
I don't know. I don't come that often, and usually it's just the same kind of people are following you. And, sometimes people recognize me, sometimes they don't, but I move pretty much under the radar.
But so you're not, if you go to a sporting event or anything, when's the last time you went to a sporting event here?
In New York? Gosh, I don't even remember. I think the last time I went to, I don't know, it had to have been the Knicks game when Will and I were shooting for the other guys. I don't have a tendency to visit New York sporting events all that much. Not really my cup of tea.
When's the last time you went to something in Boston?
We actually went, Pete Berg and I were shooting Patriots Day in Boston, and we went early on a day game to shoot with Poppy for the movie.
And you said at the time, when I talked to you after that he told you he was just tired.
Yeah.
When I said, why wouldn't you come back? I mean, he homered again last night.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's putting up the numbers. They're crazy.
But but he told you that he was just too tired? And
he said he's tired. He said the body has told him that he's done, But, at playing at that level, I would imagine, guys always want to keep going further than they're supposed to and for longer than they're supposed to. And I guess maybe he'll change his mind. I don't know.
How do you do your own stunts?
Are
you allowed to?
Only yes, but only what's required. But in a movie like this with Deepwater Horizon, of course, you have the real guy there, and you want to make it as realistic as possible. So I'll do anything that's required. But I didn't like the fact that Pete Berg lit me on fire this go around. Actually lit me on fire. But
okay, wait, explain that.
So, the whole rig, there's a blowout and the rig starts to explode, and there are major fires and explosions all over the rig. So there's a point where we're actually going into another room to try to turn on the secondary generator. And so Pete thought it'd be cool if, we were on fire before we went into the room. So, they doused us with all this protective gel. And then, of course, they put all the flammable stuff on us. And the guy's standing there and he lights us. And then they're not even rolling yet. And then it's myself and Dylan O'Brien. We're on fire, and he's freaked out, So he's supposed to be putting me out, and I'm putting him out, but he's punching me in the face and everything else, and it was pretty chaotic.
I like that Pete Berg lit you guys on fire. He wasn't lit on fire while watching you.
Oh, he's on fire inside. He's on fire on the inside. But no, but I think if I asked Pete to do it for me, he would have done it for me.
When's the last time a director yelled at you?
Michael Bay, maybe about a month ago.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I was just standing there. He doesn't yell to the point where he's trying to yell at you. It's just it's so crazy, with all the explosions and action and everything else that and he's basically leading the whole charge. He kind of controls the whole set. So he just has a tendency to raise his voice. But now since we were shooting in England, he's been very chill.
This is Transformers?
Yes.
What number is this?
5.
5.
Transformer 5.
But do you look at the director as sort of, he's your coach? He's your manager?
He's the coach. He's the guy.
He's Belichick?
Yeah, he's the guy who's, it's his vision that I'm servicing, and I'm there to kind of give him what he needs.
How do you deal with a bad director?
Usually I try to avoid working with them.
But have you ever gotten in a situation?
I've been in situations where things got a little hairy, and I've worked with inexperienced directors and then very experienced directors. So it's different. If I'm producing the movie and I kind of brought the director on, then it's probably a little bit different than working with a writer-director like Pete or a guy like Michael, where you're basically there to service his vision.
How did this story come about?
Actually, Lorenzo de Bonaventura called me, and he said, "Did you read the New York Times piece about the Deepwater Horizon?" And I said, "No." And I, like everybody else, what I had seen on the media was really about the environmental disaster and the big oil spill. And once I read the piece and the script, I realized, oh, my God, 11 people lost their lives. And that wasn't really the focus of any of the media coverage. Yeah. And I just thought that was strange, that they pretty much ignored the fact that 11 people lost their lives. And so we wanted to make the movie, but we wanted to focus on the human element of the story. And, of course, when we said we wanted to make the movie, The families were reluctant because of the fact that nobody really acknowledged the loss. And so once we were able to communicate to them what our intentions were, and then Pete and I showed them Lone Survivor, then they got on board and really supported us.
What is it about real stories, though? It seems to hit something inside of you. Perfect Storm, Patriots Day.
Fighter, those are the ones that resonate. Those are the ones that have a real impact on people. I mean, those are the kind of movies and stories that I gravitate towards. So, and you always, the reward, whether the movie is a success at the box office or not, is so much greater. Being a part of something like that, it's no longer about your own individual experience as an actor. It's really about coming together as a whole to tell the story and honor these people, and that's really special. And they were heroes. And Mike Williams, who I play in the movie, he hates the term hero. He just is a regular guy. He would have done it. He'd do it again tomorrow, and he knows his brothers would have done it to save him, and it's just his job. But they did some pretty incredible things.
He's Mark Wahlberg, actor, producer, no longer singing, right? No rapping, nothing.
Well, you got the touch. I still got the power. That's as good as I can sing. I mean, I tell you, people are always like, how did you sing so bad? Look at my daughter's mortified. She's mortified. Oh, no. If I busted out an old rap right now, she would die. She doesn't want to speak to me now.
Yeah, Mark, how old is your daughter?
She is 13.
Oh, my gosh.
The big 13.
Okay.
And she's been asking me on all these interviews that I do to do the yup game. So every other question that you ask me now, I'm going to respond. The first response will be yup. Then I will answer the question, then I will follow it with a yup. Now she's happy. So I said the yup.
She's got Paulie's microphone there if she wants to say something.
Dad, I want to hear you rap right now.
Whoa.
She just said it. Okay, you know what? Let's take a break here.
Okay.
Because you might have to refresh yourself with the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I got to rap right now.
You going to rap right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm your 45-year-old father, and I got to rap. And if you keep misbehaving, I'm going to give you behind a slap. Mm-hmm. And it's called a spanky. And if later on in life, you're going to thank me. Because all the advice that I'm giving you is good for you. And if not, your butt and behind is going to be black and blue. All right? Oh, don't cut it down. We're giving you all positive encouragement raps and good information to help you behave. And then you're going to earn that phone back, girl. You want to earn that phone back. Ooh, there's a... Ooh.
Uh-oh.
There's a mad dog face.
She lost the phone?
Yes, but I'm encouraging her to not only earn the phone back, but keep the phone. Good behavior is the key to success in life.
But my brothers or anything didn't lose the phone when they were when they were bad. Yeah.
They don't have phones.
But they have iPads and stuff.
But,
so it's the same
but
thing.
if I took the iPad, they wouldn't care. They just go throw a ball or bounce their head off the wall, and they'd still be happy. You live for the phone, so I gotta get you where it counts, kid. How else do I get you to change?
We'll see if we can patch up the Wahlbergs right after this. They're here on the Dan Patrick Show. Mark Wahlberg plays oil rig engineer Mike Williams in the new film Deepwater Horizon in theaters on September 30th here in the Man Cave. And we're watching the father-daughter experience here. I'm reliving this since I have 3 daughters that are older than your daughter, who's 13. And I like this.
You look very happy that
this
it's
is
not
great.
you.
You're not the cool dad? I would think you would be the cool dad.
You know what? If she's just asked me if she can meet Rihanna or Beyonce, then I'm the cool dad. If I can deliver the big names.
Can you do that?
She's not doing nothing right now until the behavior turns. But you know what? I want her to, and I will make it happen. I've gone out of my way to call Harry from One Direction and Justin Bieber. I've called them all.
Yeah. Niall or Harry.
Yeah. Harry come right over to the house. He was nice enough.
He did?
He's a fine young lad. He was sitting in my living room, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing here?
Did you have any advice for him? Did you experience what you experienced? Is it similar as in that pop stardom?
No, I think it's just now with social media and everything. They live under such a microscope that they don't really have the opportunity to go out there and make mistakes and experience life and experiment. I did all that stuff, and I was in lots of trouble before I had any success. So by the time I had success, I realized, okay, well, this is nice. I've experienced the other side. Let me kind of clean up my act and behave myself.
Do your kids know? Like what you, that whole
not
Marky
all
Mark?
Oh, a little bit, but not that much. and they don't know much before that. But I do try to explain to them, that Dad had been in trouble and Dad works really hard because Dad came from nothing, and I want to provide a better life for them. But I also want to lead by example and show that hard work is the way to achieve your goals and doing the right thing and behaving yourself.
What about your movies? How do you introduce your movies to your kids? At what age?
Well, there's movies that they saw Daddy's Home. They haven't seen Ted. She's probably seen everything. She's more computer savvy than...
She's 13.
Yeah, than Bill Gates.
Yeah, they find a way to see those things.
But what movies do you want to see that you haven't seen?
Mom got me The Lovely Bones on my iPad
Oh,
for
cool.
the plane today, but I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
I've only seen Daddy's Home and Transformers.
And what about Invincible?
I've seen that one.
Oh, cool.
But not Ted.
I saw it with no sound because he was watching it with headphones. I stood behind him.
I showed them the fight scene from Ted.
Oh, man.
With no sound.
I've seen some stuff.
And then they really wanted to see it.
Oh, my
The boys were like, Daddy was whipping you in the butt with an antenna. We want to see that.
I remember, I think you might have been on Howard Stern talking about Ted when it was just first coming out.
Uh-huh.
And the whole premise, I thought, it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
But you have to allow yourself to just go, my best friend's a teddy bear, and I got to fight him. Like when they pitch it to you, what's the look on your face?
It's an impossible pitch, just like it's impossible to go and try to sell the movie. But then when I finally reluctantly read the script, I'm 30 pages in, I'm like, wow, this is like one of the great buddy comedies of all time. And you forget that it's a teddy bear. So then you have to go and you see the technology, and Seth kind of walked me through his vision. And then I just believed, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take the plunge. And then I went and tried to tell my wife, and she was like, you're an idiot. That sounds ridiculous. I don't get you and a talking teddy bear, forget it. It's over. Your career is over. And it was just one of those things where, you had to kind of just go with it and believe it and trust him, and it worked. So
there are some there are lines in there that Seth has that are just
yeah.
They're just
I mean, it's the highest grossing R-rated comedy of all time. Crazy.
What did it make?
$550
Oh
million.
my God.
Made $50 million in Japan, and American comedies. No American comedies work in Japan.
Will Ferrell's not afraid to be naked. When you worked with him, Daddy's Home, you have your shirt off a few times in there.
Yeah.
Do you write it? Do you want it in the script?
No, I don't want it in the script
because
at all.
He seems to get naked in a lot of his movies.
He likes it.
But
He likes it. He writes it in.
Tidy whities.
I kind of cringe with that stuff. It's only because, when I took my shirt off all the time when I was rapping, and then with the Calvin Klein stuff, I was known for having my shirt off. So when I wanted to become an actor and be taken seriously, I wanted to get as far away from that stuff as possible. That's why with Boogie Nights, it was like, I really wanted to make sure that I changed my appearance as much as possible. That's why I lost so much weight, and because I wanted people to try to, to be taken seriously, which is not an easy thing to do, transitioning from that kind of career to acting.
What about sports? As I know Pete Berg likes, he did Friday Night Lights, but how important is sports in anything down the road? Obviously, Ballers you're involved in, but movie-wise, is there a sports story left to be told that would interest you?
Yeah, it's funny. We still talked about doing another version of The Fighter, the Ward Gotti trilogy, and how that relationship was formed, even though they inflicted so much pain and damage on each other. And then LeBron and I are talking about doing a basketball movie, kind of fantasy camp type of movie, where these guys, my crew, comes down and invades this fantasy camp, and then LeBron and I have this major conflict, kind of craziness in Vegas and the whole thing. So we actually met. He came to my house, and we're trying to find a writer right now to kind of rework the script. Doug Allen actually did the first pass on the script. So I'd like to do that, and if I get one more crack at being on the baseball diamond or anywhere else on a field, I would like to do it. But now I'm thinking realistically, I can be a coach instead of a player.
Ooh.
Which you think, that kind of stinks. But for me, playing the young kid and then getting to play the father, I'm just lucky that I was able to make it that long and had the career that I've had.
The Garoppolo injury, you concerned about that? Would you have your shoulder, would you trade your shoulder for Garoppolo's right now just so he could play?
No.
You would?
No. But I like Garoppolo.
What if it was Brady? If Brady needed it?
No. No. I got too much to do, man. I got two torn labrums in both shoulders anyway. You know,
How'd you
won't be
do?
much-
Oh, is that one? Oh, the old excuse here that he doesn't want a piece of you, Fritzy. The old torn labrum.
No, what I want, put me in the game. Let me play. I can scramble.
Were you any
I can
good
huck
at-
it 40, 50 yards.
Were you any good as an athlete in high school?
I can't answer
you
that
can't
question.
Okay. With your daughter here?
I didn't do anything in high school. So, but it also, they didn't have any sports at the high school that I went to. There was no gym. There was no teams. If you wanted to play, you had to go and play with another school.
Really?
I had an opportunity when I was very young to play. The boys' club was going to see if they could get us a scholarship to either Boston College High School or Don Bosco, or a great school where you could actually play sports. But I misbehaved and things didn't work out. So I had to go and start from square one. But that was one of the big regrets for me.
But you and your brothers, were you good amongst them? Playing in the backyard?
Oh, yeah.
or-
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I mean, play
playground?
football, basketball, baseball, hockey, boxing. You know, we played all the sports. But especially hockey and football, very expensive sports to play.
Yeah.
You know, with equipment and traveling and all that stuff. So we never really got to play organized sports like that.
Is there somebody you haven't met with Boston sports?
No,
Met them all?
pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Been very fortunate.
Would you want to be involved in a team?
Absolutely.
Have you ever thought about trying to buy one with somebody?
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about putting a bid in for the Clippers with a group of guys. Every time I see Mr. Kraft, I tell him, let me get my little minority stake in the team. I got money. Kraft is a great guy. I actually just showed the Deepwater Horizon to the whole team. But I think we're going to be good. The fact that we're 2-0 is pretty good. I think if they'd have said we went 1-3 without Tom and then went on to win the division, I think everybody would have been happy. And I think Brissett is really good. I think he can move. So I think we go and squeak a win out with the Texans, and then we stomp the Bills, get Tom a little more practice or a bye, and then we go beat up on the Browns.
We brought this up last week because I had to go get my license at the DMV. Do you go to the DMV?
Yes, you have to go to the DMV.
Wait a minute.
I go to the DMV.
You
think
stand
the
in
DMV
line?
comes to my? No, I don't stand in line.
Wait.
Well, I didn't have to stand in line the last time I went.
Well, what happens?
I was able to go and kind of go into the back, and somebody was kind enough to help me out, and I signed the paper and but I took as many pictures as it would have taken to stand in line.
Your daughter has a question for you.
Yes, darling
Why
Levy.
did you hesitate when they asked
About what?
if you go?
Well, because I don't want to seem like I have this sense of entitlement about me.
I've
or
never
I get
seen you have to go.
preferential treatment. I have. How do you think I get my because you're in school or you're sleeping. So, yeah. I don't next time I'll take you with me to the DMV.
Okay.
But Cindy knows somebody at the DMV, so yeah, I got my license. Where do you think I get it? Do you think it just comes in the mail, or they bring the photo thing to my house?
Honestly, yeah.
No.
So
Yeah.
you've got a couple days with your daughter now, London and then Paris.
Yep, I'm excited.
Yep.
I woke her up at the crack of dawn today, and she was not happy. I said, "You're coming with Daddy today. It's Daddy-daughter day again."
Let me ask your daughter what she thought of the. How did you think Dad did in the interview?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he did okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's the most fun one all day.
I got the what's in there.
No, you didn't actually. You didn't say it. You
I just said it again.
No,
What?
It's not. That's not the word. You just talked about it. And I'm
All
like,
right, you say it
but
real
you didn't
quick.
Say,
You say it.
say like this. Yep. Dad did good in the interview. Yep.
Oh, yep.
You talk yep-yups.
Yep. Okay.
So you got to say it just at a random time. You can't
Okay.
just say it.
Yep. I
Just
will.
remember,
Yep.
this is just a phase.
Yeah. How long?
It gets better.
5-year
Yeah,
phase?
5 year. You got till around.
You see my buddy Rastafil over there, so we have now one more to the entourage. He has a performance-inspired nutrition shirt on, which is our sports nutrition line
you
with
have to-
myself and Tom Dowd. But I told him with
Yep.
with that belly, I think we need him to just to wear a Wahlburger shirt. It's a better advertisement for burgers than performance-inspired nutrition.
Wait, is it yup?
You say like this. Yep. And then you say yep. My dad.
Oh.
Like whatever.
You want me to say that? Yep, my dad, like whatever. Like,
Yup. Mark Wahlberg
Yep.
plays oil rig
sound like
engineer.
Jonathan.
Yep. Mike Williams in the new film. Yep. Deepwater Horizon in theaters. Yep. September 30th.
Yep.
Yep. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, he does it better than
Yep,
me.
I do.
That's why he has this job. I just come as a guest. I couldn't do this.
Yep. He's Mark Wahlberg.
You see his name on the wall there? He's Dan Patrick for a reason.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.